Slow, peaceful breathing. Om. 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 स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मन्नाथ श्रीजगन्नाथो मद्गुरुः श्रीजगद्गुरुः ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। सेल्फ्लेस यूनिवर्सल प्रेयर। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सर्वस्तरतु दुर्गाणि सर्वो भद्राणि पश्यतु सर्वसद्बुद्धिमाप्नोतु सर्वः सर्वत्र नन्दतु। दुर्जन सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जन शान्तिमाप्नुयात्। शान्तो मुच्येत बन्देभ्यो मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत्। May all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all be free from difficulties, free from dangers, free from diseases. May all see what is good, listen what is good, speak what is good, do what is useful to others. May all be enlightened everywhere. May all be happy everywhere. May all be peaceful everywhere. Take a deep breath and chant the Omkaram. Om. Once more, all of you, please inhale. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. O Lord, lead us from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge. O Lord, lead us from death to immortality, from fear to fearlessness, from weakness to strength. Let there be peace, strength, and all divine qualities awakened in me, in my life, in my family, my relatives, friends, my colleagues, my classmates, neighbors, all the people known and unknown in the city, state, the whole country, and the whole world. Now just keep your eyes closed in the meditation posture. I will read one or two teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Please listen and think about it. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but thinking of strength. Teach men of the strength that is already within them. If there is one word that you find coming out like a bomb from the Upanishads, bursting like a bombshell upon masses of ignorance, it is the word fearlessness. Be strong, my young friends. If you look, you will find that I have never quoted anything but the Upanishads. And of the Upanishads, it is only that one idea, strength, the quintessence of all the Vedas and Vedanta, and all lies in that one word. This is the one question I put to every man. Are you strong? Do you feel strength? For I know it is truth alone that gives strength. Strength is the medicine for the world's disease. Stand up and fight, not one step back. Fight it out. That is the idea. Whatever comes, fight it out. Let the stars move from the sphere. Let the whole world stand against us. Death means only a change of garment. What of it? Thus fight. You gain nothing by becoming cowards. Taking a step backward, you do not avoid any misfortune. So what is the use? Die game, die game. You are infinite, deathless, birthless. Because you are infinite spirit, it does not befit you to be a slave. Arise, awake, stand up and fight. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So namaste, very good evening, Shubha Sandhya, Susandhya to all of you, and to our guest faculty for today, Dr. Vivek Modi, senior faculty of VIHE since the last 15 years. So he will be giving the class wonderful sessions, wonderful ideas. You will get on overcoming fear, overcoming the stress and other ailments, other diseases, other enemies. So just like some of you who saw the little talk which I shared from Jogendra Singh Yadav, Param Veer Chakra Jogendra Singh Yadav. That entire episode, video recording of nearly 1 hour plus is uploaded in our Ramakrishna Math Hyderabad YouTube channel. You can download or you can listen carefully the entire sequence of Kargil Vijay. wonderful man, one of the living legends, Paramveer Chakra. So it's a very inspiring talk, it jolts you, it gives you the kick from inside. So it is written as Our Fight for Our Motherland, Yogendra Singh Yadav. There are 2 channels for Hyderabad Mutt. One is Ramakrishna Mutt Hyderabad, RKM HYD, Ramakrishna Mutt Hyderabad. That is all the Mutt activities, lectures, bhajans, and weekly classes, etc. The second is VIHE HYD. VIHE HYD means the Institute of Human Excellence classes. The courses, the class talks are all uploaded. So you can, for this particular lecture, speech of Yogendra Singh Yadav given 4 years ago in the month of September, you can visit, you can watch, you can share also. Thank you. Anyway, somebody has raised the hand. I don't know why. Akash. What do you want, Mr. Akash? You have raised the hand. Is it by mistake or what? And you are not visible, my dear brother. Akash is not visible. Only all others, please open your videos, video camera, whoever is able to. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Yes. So let me just take a quick 1 minute, 2 minutes interview. Let me ask Naveen ji, how did you feel last 2 days? Today, 3rd day of the course. Naveen, unmute and speak. Yes, Naveen can unmute now. Now please unmute, Naveen ji. No. Unmute karo bhai. Naveen. Okay, before he gets in, let me ask Chinmayi from Chennai. Chinmayi, unmute and speak.
Yes, sir.
Last 2 days. What did you learn? What did you?
Sir, I felt a positive energy after listening to the classes.
Can you be a little clear? I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, I got some positive energy and outcome after listening to the classes for 2 days.
Okay. You have improved. You find 2 days, little improvement, little ideas, little confidence.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes. Now, Naveen, unmute.
Hello, Swamiji.
Yes, Naveen ji. Chapandi.
For the past 2 days. Hello.
Yes, continue.
Don't
don't shake your camera. Don't shake your mobile phone. Keep it steady and you talk. Otherwise, it all. Now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. అంటే ఈ స్పీచ్ విన్న గత 2 రోజుల నుంచి నాకు కొంచెం అంటే మార్నింగ్ పొద్దున్నే 5కి లేచి కొంచెం మెడిటేషన్ అలా యోగా అవి చేస్తున్నాను స్వామీజీ.
ఓకే.
యోగా అవి చేసిన తర్వాత కొంచెం మార్నింగ్ కొంచెం ఫ్రెష్గా ఉంటుంది, కొంచెం పాజిటివ్ ఎనర్జీ వస్తుంది. కానీ ఈవినింగ్ టైం వచ్చేసరికి నాకు కొంచెం మళ్ళీ ఎందుకో తెలియదు, మళ్ళీ కొంచెం లోగా ఫీల్ అవుతున్నట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది. మార్నింగ్ అయితే బాగానే ఉంటుంది, ఈవినింగ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది స్వామీజీ? ఇంకా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలేమో.
ప్రాక్టీస్ అభ్యాస వైరాగ్య. యు హావ్ టు ప్రాక్టీస్ అండ్ యు హావ్ టు గివ్ అప్. పిచ్చి మొక్కలు పెరుగుతూ ఉంటే దాన్ని వదిలేస్తే మెయిన్ చెట్టు అంతా చెడిపోతుంది, తోటంతా చెడిపోతుంది. పిచ్చి మొక్కలు పెరిగిన వెంటనే యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమూవ్ దెమ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ ప్రాక్టీస్, దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, వెరీ నైస్. డోంట్ వరీ, keep up that morning and that will slowly spread towards evening also. Evening also you continue again. Evening also you practice yoga and meditation, etc. Okay.
స్వామి, చిన్న క్వశ్చన్ స్వామీజీ.
Yes, what is that please?
అంటే మనం తినే ఫుడ్ మన స్ట్రెస్ లెవెల్స్ ని ఏమన్నా ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేసిద్దా స్వామీజీ?
Definitely. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi. If the food is pure, the mind will be pure.
అంటే నాన్ వెజ్ ఐటమ్స్ అలాంటివి లేకపోతే?
That is not the point. Attitude is the main problem. Attitude. భోజనం పైన ఉన్న రెస్పెక్ట్, భోజనం పైన ఉన్న భక్తి భావం ఉంటే ఏ ఫుడ్ అయినా పర్లేదు. గడ్డి తిన్నా ఒకటే, మాంసం తిన్నా ఒకటే. తగ్గించడం బెటర్, తగ్గించడం, నాన్ వెజ్ తగ్గించడం బెటర్.
సార్.
బట్ కొన్ని ప్రదేశాల్లో, సే నార్త్ ఈస్ట్, సో బెంగాల్ ఆర్ సమ్ అదర్ కోల్డ్ క్లైమేట్స్, యూ కెనాట్ అవాయిడ్ దట్. ఇట్ హెస్ బికమ్ ఎ హ్యాబిట్. It has become part of their daily diet, whether it is fish or whether it is any other item. But most important thing is దాని వెనక ఉండే భావం, దాని వెనకాల ఉండే ఫ్యాషన్ కింద డిస్రెస్పెక్ట్తో ఏదో తినేయాలని ఒక మోహం ఉంటే అదన్నీ డేంజరస్. సో యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ దట్ విల్ పవర్ అండ్ యూ షుడ్ ఆఫర్ ఇట్ టు ద డివైన్ and take. బ్రహ్మార్పణం బ్రహ్మహవిర్ ఆహార శుద్ధౌ సత్వశుద్ధి. ద ఫుడ్ is pure, the mind is pure. Yeah, food ante emti, it can be, it is not just the physical food, but it is also the food that you take through your eyes, ears, tongue, your studies, your habits, all that is food. One is food for the body, the second is food for the mind. So both of them has to be very, very pure food. Andike, if you are having the habit of non-veg, slowly you reduce the number of days of eating the non-veg. If you are eating every day, make it 5 days. ఒకేసారి మనం అతి ఉత్సాహంలో వదిలేయడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తాం, అది అవ్వదు. లోపల క్రేవింగ్ ఉంటుంది, లోపల ఒక ఇది ఉంటుంది, దాని తినాలి అనే భావం, అది మళ్ళీ 4 times ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. సో దిస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ట్రైనింగ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ టు ద మైండ్ and say, tomorrow I am not going to eat the regular food, I will eat only rice and chapati or some bread or some idli dosa and fill my stomach. So that attitude free correct ga unte your fear and all that will reduce. Okay.
Okay, Swamiji.
So
Okay,
you think about it and work over your personal comfort.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. So we go forward, time is up. Welcome to Dr. Vivek Modi. He is joining us from Hyderabad. He is a doctor and as a wellness expert and trained leadership trainer. So he is into wellness, he is into social service, he is into sadhana, and a wonderful person, very loving, very focused, very supportive to the institute activities. So I requested him to share his ideas and experience also, or how all of you can overcome your fear, overcome your stress, and what causes stress, all that, since he's a doctor and as a wellness expert. So welcome to Dr. Vivek Modi, our faculty. Namaste, Vivek Modi ji.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam, Shubha Sandhya,
Shubha
and
Sandhya.
platform is yours.
Thank you, Swamiji. My pranams to Holy Trio and my namaste to all the participants from different parts of India. Is there anybody from out of India also? Just by chance? Doesn't look like. Okay. So, when it comes to stress or anxiety or even negative emotions like fear, you can deal with it by understanding at what level it is happening. Is it happening at the level of body? Is it happening at only the level of mind? Is it on mental story? Or is it happening because of some kind of non-alignment, spiritual non-alignment? We'll deal with what are the things we can do so that we have the ability to handle all these things in a better way. They won't be zero. It's not that you will never experience anxiety. Usually that doesn't happen. Because somewhere in a very, very limited way, they are also having some kind of protective mechanism inbuilt. Fear is kind of protective mechanism body creates so that we are conscious. We are cautious of things which may harm us. And therefore there is that feeling of fear. It protects us from taking risk which may be very costly. It's something called type 2 errors. Similarly, anxiety is a result of uncertainty. When we are not sure about what is going to happen, our mind wavers and it keeps on indulging into what if this happened? What if that happened? I don't know what will happen. And this creates unrestful status and we feel anxious. Now the point is, how do we overcome with all these things? I would avoid taking an academic approach. I don't want to tell about what is the definition of this and how many types of this, because I feel that has more of academic utility than the practical utility. For most people, what connects is talking from a very, very practical viewpoint. And that's what I'm going to take. So let's understand at the mind level, how can we help ourselves to deal with stress a little better? First and foremost thing is seeing that what is our default state. Is our default status disturbed or are we aligned? Default means when there is no problem. I mean, everything looks settled. At that time, am I happy or am I always complaining, finding faults with others, getting tensed about something which happened in past, or worrying too much about future? When everything seems to be okay, when there is no apparent big challenge, even at that time, if I'm anxious, then I need to correct that default state. That means somewhere my mental makeup is not aligned to the life I'm living, to the realities of the world. One thing which definitely helps, it might have already been discussed, is that understanding that there are so many things in life which are actually great. And not just understanding it logically, but realizing that actually we have a big lottery in our hand. Big lottery. If you are born just as a human being, there's a huge lottery. Human being with a healthy body, it's like bumper, bonanza with healthy body. Because there are many people who are not born with healthy body. They spend their significant amount of time in hospitals. Just this one thing is a huge lottery which we need to realize. Because in our knowledge, in knowledge of humanity, there is life only on Earth. There is quite a big possibility that life is there in other planets as well. Somewhere we do not know, because it is literally infinite number of planets available in the universe. But at least in our conscious knowledge today, we don't know any other planet where life happens. And what is Earth in this scheme of existence? Earth is almost negligible. In our solar system itself, it is a very small planet. And there are millions of solar systems in our galaxy. Can anyone tell me what is the name of our galaxy? You can write in the chat box. Chat box is allowed or not? Okay, let me allow the chat box. I think now it is allowed. What is the name of our galaxy? Yes, Milky Way. Milky Way. Anusha, Nandita, thank you. I request others also to keep the cameras on. That helps us to connect better. And I request all of you to bring your 100% presence here. That will help you to get maximum benefit. Any other application, any other tab, any other thing, browser window open on your systems, close them and bring your 100% presence. Okay, so in Milky Way, there are millions of solar systems like us. Like our solar system with sun and all the planets, there are millions. And there are millions of galaxies in something what is called supercluster. Okay, probably billions. And there are again billions and billions of supercluster in visible universe. And they say that visible universe is only 1% of the real universe. Now, can you imagine what is the existence of this planet itself? It is not even a small dot. You will not be able to see, put it on the bus. There is life on that one thing, and we happen to be at top rung of that life. It's a huge lottery. After that, second thing, where are we born and which time we are born? We're born in a country like India, free India, not British India, free country like India. Again, one more lottery. We could have been in Syria, we could have been in present Afghanistan, we could have been in many such countries where life is not at all easy. Luckily, we are not there. People who are present here, most of us, we are sure that we have enough to eat. In fact, most of us have choice of choosing what to eat and what not to eat. We have family, we have friends, we have education. Many of us probably have a job or a business or otherwise on that way. So much is there. But what happens is we start buying into different stories and forget the fundamentals. I often share this post which I received on Facebook. I saw on Facebook. There is an image of a tree in that post, and there is a line written below that, how great it would be if all trees were Wi-Fi hotspots. You just sit under a tree and access fast internet. Then there was a second line written, and that said, alas, trees don't give us Wi-Fi signal, they give only oxygen. So we have completely discounted that oxygen is so important. During our second wave of COVID, many of us had a taste of it. Yeah. So understanding this fundamental reality that there is already so much great in life. Just being born as human being in healthy form, that itself is great. Rest all things are like super duper bonuses. Too many good things happening. I'm not discounting your challenges. I'm not telling that there are no challenges. But I'm telling you have the best tool to deal with any challenge. I'm sure you agree with this. How many of you agree? Yeah. If you agree, just write bye in short. Yes. Bye means yes here. Just write yes. Yes. If there is any machine which can deal with any challenge in this world, it is human machine. It is this human tool, human body. With 8,700 crore neurons, we have got the intelligence which none other creature has got. We are so evolved after millions of years of evolution. And the kind of life today's human beings are living. Today, most of us live a better life than a king in 16th century or 17th century. We live a far better life than a king. Maharajas, people who conquered the world, we have better comfort than them. We have better equipments than them. But then our mind always takes this idea of pleasure and sadness by comparing things. And because of that, many of us forget this ground reality. We start behaving like that kid. Listen to this carefully, all of you. We start behaving like that kid who comes from school and goes straight to a study table, keeps his bag there and finds his favorite sweet on study table. A motichur laddu. He feels so happy. Wow, I have a sweet for me. Without even asking anyone, he thinks it is for him. So he starts eating laddu. As he comes out of his study room, his father just had a look at his son and felt happy that my son is enjoying the surprise. This happened on Monday, this happened on Tuesday. Wednesday again he found laddu, he was so happy. Thursday again there was one more laddu. Friday laddus were over, finished. The boy was expecting now laddu every day. He thought one laddu after school time is my birthright. So he comes Friday from school, keeps his bag on the study table, start looking for laddu. There is no sweet. And he gets a little cranky. What is this? This is my sweet time. How can you forget? Who is that idiot who used to keep? How can he forget? Yelling, he comes out of room. His father looks at him and thinks, my God, for last 4 days, I've been keeping the surprise laddu for him. Not once he thought, who is keeping it? Let me thank him. One day he doesn't find a laddu. And he says, who is that idiot? My son is so thankless. Now just think. You may be going to temple, Gurudwara, maybe church, maybe mosque, maybe you are not believing in all this, even if you are an atheist. Sometimes you complain about so many things. God, why I'm short? God, why my father is very strict? God, why my boss is like this? So many complaints we have. In today's world, complaints are very funny. Why my Facebook post is not being liked? Why my TV remote is not working properly? These are the challenges. Huh? So, when, let us say, God is listening, just like that father, looking at all of us children, why like this, why like that, he must be thinking, I have given him human birth, I have given healthy body, enough to eat, a country like India, so many friends, education, so much nurturing, so much I have given. Not once he genuinely thanked me. I have given a little bit of challenge and this person is complaining and so thankless. Just like that child. So that's the first point. Realizing that in our life, no matter what is your status today, no matter what is the challenge, there are so many things which are great. And do not miss them. Because if we do not cherish what we have, chances are you are not going to cherish what you get. You will get into just accumulation mode. Many people are in race mode. They are accumulating. Nothing wrong in becoming rich and striving for more. But what is important is cherishing what we have. When I was in my medical college, staying away from home, not able to adjust with hostel food, I had a realization that I never valued home food when my mother was cooking and giving me, loving me. 3 kids, cooking sometimes different things for 3 kids to keep them happy. We took it for granted. We thought she has to do it, she has a duty to do it. Yeah. That's how we behave. But when I started missing it, I realized that this is a flaw in human psyche. Whatever comes easily, we take it for granted. I have a friend who is at a very good position today, but with the biggest regret in his life, that his father is not there to see his success. He told his father, he used to tell him, Beta, you are so capable, but he never paid attention. He used to lie. He used to simply ignore, live with indiscipline. And father used to say, just be a little diligent and you will achieve great success. But he ignored. In one fine day, okay, how many of you have a problem with my voice? Is it clear or not? Somebody is writing it's not clear. If it is not clear, you can just write not clear or NC so that I can realize, and if I have to change something, I'll do that. If it is clear, also write clear so that it's clear. Okay. Okay. Is there too much background noise or air? Maybe I have to slow down my fan. Most people are saying it's clear, so I don't think. Okay, let me just give me one moment. I'll slow down the fan and that should solve your problem. Give me a moment. How is it now? Okay, thank you. Yes. So where was I? Yeah. So the biggest regret for my friend today is that I wish my father could have seen it, because he actually built it with great efforts, remembering everything what his father told. But this regret he cannot now let go. So please understand, do not get into this flaw that just because things are easily available, they don't have value. Okay, whether it is food or some people in life, family, healthy body. You know, being a doctor, I know many people in their 60s realize when the body starts showing the signs of wear and tear, they realize how they have abused the body whole life, not respected. Okay, not respected their own body, and now come with only one regret. And that regret is, I wish my legs were working. I wish I could breathe a bit easily. I wish I could sleep well. I wish I could digest things properly. These are the challenges now. Now they become over conscious of it. Yeah. This happens because when things were there, we did not value. We think for eternity, it's going to support me. And in their early 40s, early 50s, they get rude shock. When some report comes differently, and then they realize. So please see, understand that so many great people have built their life coming from very humble background. Abdul Kalam ji was born in a small town. You don't even call it town, it's a village. Did not go to convent schools. Was not born to rich parents. Studied in Tamil medium schools. Was not a 6'2" fair, tall, handsome person. Because some people think that is also very important for success. Nothing. Still he achieved everything. Because he had this attitude of gratitude. Because if your default state is fine, you can handle so many things. Because you're thankful. You're happy that at least I have so many of such things. And now I'll keep on working to get more. I'm not telling settle. I'm not telling don't be ambitious. I'm not telling don't take action. I'm not telling just be happy without doing anything. No, that's not the point. I may be today going by bus. I cherish my bus and keep trying to work more so that I can get a bike. And once I get on bike, I cherish my bike. But I'll keep working for my car. Journey goes on, but you don't miss the things which you have right now. That's important. So I hope you get the point. Attitude of gratitude. That's the point number one. Second thing, accepting the inevitable or unchangeable with a holistic view. Many times our anxiousness, our stress comes when we are not able to accept things. Okay. There are things which are inevitable. Death is inevitable. Parting of near and dear one, including parents, including everyone we know, is inevitable. You cannot stop it. No one can stop it. It's inevitable. Yes. Failures in life will happen. You can never be sure of any game before you get into playing the game. Otherwise, that's not a game. Yes. You take up a business project, you take up an exam, you start anything new, and you think it will be 100% sure. No, it won't be. There's nothing like 100% certainty in anything. There are always factors which are beyond an individual. So I have to accept the reality with a holistic view. If I don't accept it, then I am going to agitate with little disturbances. I have an employee and he comes late, I get agitated. Nothing happens to employee, but I develop high blood pressure after a few years. I have to understand, world will never be ideal. World will never be ideal. No, I did nothing wrong, but still they cheated me. That is how world is. Things will happen. So please understand that anything which you are not accepting and which cannot be changed is going to make you anxious, stressed. You cannot change everything in the world. It will never ever happen. Doesn't matter what you are doing. So accepting things with totality. Some of my friends came to Hyderabad from Kashmir. So anybody comes to Hyderabad, there is one place which usually we like to visit is Ramoji Film City. It is Asia's biggest film city. It's a place to see. Yeah. So I took them. It was month of June. Ramoji Film City is a whole day project. If anybody has gone, you understand. You require a lot of stamina to really see it's huge. So you get in the bus, you visit one set, you get on the bus, you again visit some set, you get on. This goes on for like a couple of hours, 3 hours. Every time they got out of the bus and got in the bus, they were telling, "Oh, Vivek, it is so hot. How do you survive here? Oh my God, it is so hot, so hot, so hot." Once, twice, thrice, at least 1 dozen times they have told me till lunch. It's so hot. How do you survive? It's horrible. At lunch, I told them, okay, see, I understand it's hot. You have told me many times. You can tell me 10 more times. Do you think it will become even 1 degree less if you tell me 10 more times that it's hot? Does it change anything about the reality that in month of June, a South Indian state is going to be hot? And if you cannot understand that, you are bringing it on you because you're not able to accept something which is reality. Imagine if I come to Kashmir and I say, "Arey, there is no Ramoji Film City here." I don't come Kashmir for Ramoji Film City. Yeah, I come there for its climate, its beauty. You come here to see Ramoji Film City and other places. I cannot come to Hyderabad and expect Kashmir climate and also Ramoji Film City. I'm not accepting things in totality. Similarly, you will have people in life. Some aspect of them you would love, you would like so much, but certain things you won't. Very good example, couples. First year in marriage, they like everything about everything. Not first year, maybe 6 months. Nowadays, this timeline is also reducing. Slowly, they start disliking few things. This one thing I don't like. Rest all is good. Slowly, it becomes reverse. Only this one thing I like. Rest of the things I don't like. This is how it becomes. Yeah. If I have to make one person, if I have to, become an important part in anybody's life, I have to understand that everything won't be my way. After all, we are different people. And everything will come as a package. Everything will come as a package. There are certain things which you would like. There are certain things which may not be of your liking. And so is it for that person also. So I have to understand that if I am not accepting the package, I am going to suffer. No matter what I become, no matter to whom I marry or who are my friends, it really doesn't matter. I remember when I was fresh after my graduation, I was working in a corporate hospital as a duty medical officer. And I was posted in a cardiology ward for one night duty. So about midnight, we had a patient who had heart attack. So there was a consultant, very senior consultant in-house. We looked after him in the emergency. And after that, after the initial treatment, he was shifted to the ward. And then I was invited for a coffee by the senior consultant. For me, it was very pleasant because somebody very senior, I'm just a fresh MBBS, and here somebody very senior inviting me for a coffee. So about 1 a.m. in the night, we are sitting in the cafeteria and he started asking me, like, what do you think? How much hard work I have to do to become a cardiologist? I told, sir, I absolutely appreciate. It's a lot of hard work. I just did my MBBS, and in that only I'm kind of exhausted. And after this, you've done your PG, and then you've done your super PG, and after that you become junior consultant and you go for it. It's a tapasya of 20 years minimum. Pure tapasya. I told, sir, it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, no doubt. Then he said, what do you think? What is my life after so much of hard work, after I have become this senior consultant? Now, the way he asked me, I could not understand whether it's positive or negative. So I was just thinking, like, it's great life. You are a cardiologist. You are saving lives. So there is extremely, this is a very few people can take pride of saving life on everyday basis. Huge satisfaction, which most people never get a chance to even have that experience. And then you make a lot of money, no doubt. You are in the top rank. How many will be there? How many cardiologists will be there? Few thousands in a country of more than 125 crores. So you are in the cream of the cream. And people respect you. Most people respect you. Hospital takes care of you. And what more you need? You have everything. But then he started telling me, even today, every now and then you see every month, at least 2 or 3 times, I have to sleep in the hospital. Nowadays, patients are becoming too much argumentative. They read something on Google and then they unnecessarily argue without understanding things. And my phone, keep ringing. Even if I'm on holiday, I cannot, avoid this. I'm not able to sometimes give enough time to my kids. Night time, sometimes, I have to do things. So many things started telling. And I had a realization that even as a cardiologist, this person is not happy. After achieving so much in life, anyone would be so proud of himself or herself after achieving that much. But this person is not experiencing that happiness. What is wrong? Is being cardiologist wrong? Certainly not. The problem is he has not accepted his package. There's non-acceptance. The day I choose to become a cardiologist, my package is I will get a lot of money, I'll have fame, I'll have satisfaction, I will have immense opportunity to serve, I'll have a lot of respect. But nighttime people will call and I have to attend with a smile. That's my package. I cannot say no to that. Imagine if Virat Kohli told, why should I get up early morning, take 20 rounds of stadium, go to gym, exercise so hard? I'm, after all, the best batsman. I'm the highest scoring batsman usually. Forget about this series. Otherwise, yeah. If we start saying, why media is unnecessarily poking its nose in my personal life, anything I say, they blow out of proportion. To people whom I have never given interview, they are writing my interview. Why they are over scrutinizing my life? Why should I eat with that much discipline? Why my privacy is not being respected? These are all genuine complaints, right? He could give. But he understands it. That when you are Indian cricket team captain, when you have fame which very few people in the world can even imagine, when you have money which you can't even count, when you have pride of a nation on your shoulders, your packages, people will over scrutinize you. You have to work hard. Media will poke its nose in your personal life. That's how the things work. It's a package. You cannot choose one and ignore others. I don't want others. You want a job, it will come with a package. You want to become a businessman, it will come with a package. You don't want to marry, there is a package. You want to get married, there is a package. Please understand, everything you choose, there will be a package. And if you do not accept the other part of your package, you are going to suffer. As a professional speaker, as a wellness educator, I love reading, researching, I love delivering talks, training people. I love doing that. But what I don't like is marketing, telling people so many things of this game I don't like. But this is the game. I have to accept this and that. If I am giving you 1 rupee coin, it will come with its head and a tail. You can't say just give me head. It won't happen. It will never happen. So my dear friends, please understand what is your package and accept things in package. You want to be an IAS officer, there will be limitations. You want to become a judge, there will be limitations. There will be power, but there will be limitations. Certain things you will not be allowed to do. There is no take without a give. No take without a give. Yes. So accept the package, and that will help you in dealing with your issues, because you will understand that yes, this is how things are. Things won't be only my way. It will never happen. Now, next point. I told you 2 points. Being grounded in gratitude. And second thing is accept the package, accept the unchangeable things which you cannot change with a holistic view. In the world, things are never going to be ideal. With a holistic, whatever is inevitable, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, nothing else will happen but suffering. Now let's come to one more important point. That's bring your presence to your present. Many of our anxiety, stress comes because we dwell too much of the past things. It could be your past mistakes. It could be somebody caused that hurt. It could be a sense of guilt. Oh, I wasted so much of time. Oh, I could have done this. I could have done that. It could be any of these things. If you are dwelling too much into your past, it is going to eat away in your present. And human life happens not in past. That's the illusion. Human life happens only in this moment. You know, some people say life is one moment, nothing else. Rest is all chemical reaction. Whole your story about your life and your views and all, they are nothing but stories in your mind, some chemical reactions, nothing else. No one, including God, can change it. Nothing. You can't change your past. So if you are dwelling too much into that, you are living in delusion. Please understand, you can't change your past. You can change only one thing. You can change the way you look at it. You can change the way you look at it. So what should I do? I can look at my failures. I can look at my challenges, but I have to stare at my solutions. I have to stare at my present. When you ride a bike or drive a car, you do not keep looking in the rear view mirror. You'll meet with an accident. You just have a look at it now and then. But your focus has to be on the road ahead. That's how in life also we have to be. There is a saying, yeah, people don't die out of snake bite. They die out of the poison which spreads later. So some mistake you did, you have to forgive yourself. No, I cannot forgive myself. Don't forgive. The thing is, if you don't forgive, you are not going to correct that mistake. Because a part of your brain, your mental energy is occupied by your past, which is going to take away your efficiency. If you are genuinely interested in correcting your mistake or anything which has happened in the past, then it's your moral duty to first forgive yourself, no matter how big is your crime, so that you can genuinely rebuild. Let go. If you do not let go, you will not be able to bring your presence to your present. And if that doesn't happen, your past is going to spoil your present and thereby reflect on your future as well. So your past is equal to your future. What's the game? Then we are as good as an animal. The great thing about being a human being is we can shift and we can tell the world that my past is not equal to my future. There are no saints without a past, no sinners without a future. Yes. So I have to understand this. I have to forgive, forget, rebuild. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to come out of it. So that's point number 3. Let's come to point number 4. There is a spiritual way, spiritual view. A lot of our stress comes because our sense of identity is wrongly placed. You create a sense of identity. I'm so and so. People should look at me like this. See, how you look at yourself, that you can decide. But how people will look at you, if you try to change that, you're not going to win that battle. Forget about you're not going to win. You're going to spoil a lot of your energy into proving to the world what you are. And still, you're not going to make everyone feel the way you want them to look at you. So it's very, very important to let go this desire that people have to approve what I think of myself. I'm a great son, great husband. I'm a winner, I'm a champion. You know it. No, why do you want a confirmation from the world? That shows weakness. That is that ego coming in your way and creating unnecessary anxiety. You know, anybody egoistic is a very weak person. Although he or she may feel, I'm big, I'm being respected, I'm being offered a special chair, my name is on top, my name is in big letters, all fine. But if your happiness or sadness depends upon that, then you are a beggar. Because anyone can just not follow what you expect and disturb you. Long back, after completing my graduation, me and some of my friends, we were traveling somewhere in car, 4 of us, and we were discussing something very interesting about an opportunity, a business opportunity with medical tourism. We were very happy, enthusiastic, excited. Our car stopped at a signal, and a beggar came, started asking for money. He just knocked the window shield and asked some money. My friend, we were all busy, so my friend who was driving car, he told, "Bhaiya, aage jao, go ahead." He was too busy and didn't want to break the flow. This beggar did go, but before going, he made a comment. And he told, "Tu to marega, you will die." He just said it so casually and moved away. My friend was a bit short-tempered, couldn't take it. How dare he could curse me like this just because I didn't give him money? And he was so angry that he wanted to get down and hit that person. Somehow we held him. And after that, our discussion started happening. Why we should never give money to beggars. Look at him. He's a young boy. Why can't he work? He has no shame, this, that. One of my friends has come from America. He told you, this is the problem in India. We directly make it national problem. As if in America, there are no beggars. In fact, there are American beggars and they probably come with a knife. Yeah, that's what happens in streets of Chicago. You cannot go alone. Yes, people are scared. But anyway, we love to bash our country. So that happened. Yeah. And for a moment, I just looked at that beggar. He was busy with his next customer. Yeah. And I thought, we are all doctors, highly educated people. We think we are very intelligent. We were talking about our business. Somebody came for his business. Okay, things didn't happen. Transaction didn't happen. He just made a comment and went on. And he actually punished us with that statement because we paid heed to it. And now giving up our business, we are discussing why begging is bad. And while discussing that, we are feeling bad. And that beggar is unaffected. He's doing his business. That's what ego does to us. When you give too much attention to what somebody else tells about you, thinks about you, you actually give your remote control in the hands of the world. Doesn't mean that you should not seek opinions from others. I'm not meaning that. I'm telling, if you are craving for somebody's approval, you are getting weak. If somebody appreciates, we all feel happy. That's fine. But if somebody doesn't appreciate and you feel sad, that's not fine. I made the food. How was it? Nobody even commented. I took so much hard work. I got up early morning. I made the breakfast and nobody even acknowledged me. Fine. You made it for your happiness. Why are you becoming a beggar for appreciation? Somebody appreciate, fine. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3. Say shabash. Good. Move ahead. Because what you think of yourself is very important than what world thinks of you. Until you think whatever world thinks of me should be great, you are going to be at mercy of the people around you and the world around you. And that's never going to be the world the way you want. So very important to let go this intense desire to seek approval from everyone. If you are doing something, do it with this thing that I know what I'm doing. If somebody appreciates, fine. If somebody doesn't appreciate, fine. I know what I'm doing. And that way you buy into peace. You make a Facebook post, an Instagram post, and then you keep on checking every 10 minutes, how many likes, how many comments. And if you feel bad, if nobody's commenting, nobody's liking, that's a problem, understand. Practice it. I'll post it and not watch it for 3 days. I'm least bothered about what others. Try to detach yourself from that craving, which seek validation of the world, because that is making you weak. So many, especially I see this among couples, my husband doesn't give me time. He never appreciates me. Why do you need that? No, at least he should appreciate. Yes, he should, no doubt. But if he is not, and if that is your disturbing point, then you're going on weak grounds. You're going on weak grounds. You have to be self-assured. You have to become your own favorite. And if that happens, a lot of stress will go. Unnecessary stress will go. Things will never be ideal. If a husband and wife are having issue after 5 years of marriage, take it from me, after 50 years, that issue will not be settled. They'll be complaining same thing. So start enjoying that. It's a game which happens in every periodic cycle. You do something good, you get angry, your husband makes you a little more irritated, then something happened, you again. This is the fun of life. This is a game. And if you think everything should be ideal, just imagine if everything was ideal. Whatever you wanted, your husband did, or whatever you wanted, your wife did. Kya fun hoga life mein? No fight, nothing, everything good. Good will lose its value. So that don't expect that everything has to be perfect. It won't happen. Yeah. So that was point number 4. That things which comes because of your false sense of ego should not disturb you much. This takes a lot of practice. It won't happen easily. It's easier said than done. Coming to the last point, and with that, I would like to close, is, and somebody asked also, how do you handle stress related to body? In today's world, 70% of disease burden is chronic diseases. And the primary reason of most of those diseases is a bad lifestyle. That's the reason I'm a wellness educator. I thought that makes more sense. That educate people to not get sick, to live a healthy lifestyle. Now, what can you do in order to see that your body-related stress which is coming because of ill body, sick body, lack of sleep, so many other things? How to overcome it? Stress creates inflammation in the body, and inflammation creates almost all sort of common health challenges which you think: hypertension, high cholesterol. This is not the only reason, but this is one of the major reasons. Indigestion, acidity, thyroid issues, diabetes, arthritis, skin issues, they can come with stress. So one thing which everyone should do is slow, deep, smooth, rhythmic breathing for at least 15 minutes a day. You can do it anytime. Slow, deep, smooth, rhythmic breathing. How slow? As slow as possible, at least 4 times to 6 times in a minute. Your normal breathing rate will be 12 to 15, 16 for some people. Younger children will have a little higher. Athletes will have a little slower maybe. So for few minutes, make it slow. 4 breaths per minute. 5 breaths per minute, whatever keeps you comfortable. deep, your tummy should come out when you're doing. Your tummy should come out. Because your diaphragm, that pulls down, and that's where the lungs, your air has to go to the lowest part and the topmost part of your lung. And for that, you have to inflate it completely. And it has to be slow and gradual, not jerky. And then smooth means no jerk. Rhythmic, maintain the rhythm. Your breathing in and breathing out ratio, maintain that. If you do this every day for 10 to 15 minutes, it helps you reducing your hyperactive sympathetic nervous system. I don't want to make it technical, but there's something called autonomic nervous system in our body. One nervous system is for fight and flight, which makes us active, which makes us deal with the challenges, any challenge. Yeah. Another nervous system is rest and digest, which heals you. In today's lifestyle, most people are hyperactive on sympathetic nervous system, that is fight and flight. So there is more wear and tear and less of repair. Parasympathetic nervous system is working at a low pace or not working enough, and sympathetic nervous system is going overboard. And because of that, eventually, because of this kind of lifestyle, you have inflammation. And because you have inflammation, you have all other kind of issues later on. So if you do this kind of breathing exercise, it triggers your parasympathetic nervous system. It slows down your sympathetic nervous system. It promotes healing. It improves your sleep quality. And in long run, it will give you tremendous benefits. So this is the lowest hanging fruit which anyone can do. You don't need to sweat. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to buy some expensive things. You can sit at your home and do it. Or if you don't do it, take it from me, after 10 years, you will do it by paying $500 to $1,000. Because this is what is happening in many of the Western countries. These concepts are slowly going to come because they have not yet commercialized it. They are understanding it, how to commercialize it in a way that people can pay money for this. So there are specific things going on. They will tell you which ratio is good for you, and for that you will be charged. And so many things will happen. And there is some merit in that. It's not that that's all fake. But a lot can be achieved just by doing this simple thing. A lot means a lot. Problem is, we are all intellectual in nature, and we think something which is complicated will help us. Fundamental things can help us so much. Your breath is magical. Somebody asked me about food habits. Simple thing, cut down white sugar. Cut down white sugar means anything artificial sweetener, including your jaggery. Okay, if you think I'll not eat sugar, I'll add jaggery. No, cut down white sugar. That is one big inflammatory in today's world. Cut down on too much of processed food. When I say processed food, a lot of maida. No, it's like things with high calorie and low nutrition value. All your cool drinks, all kind of juices, including those juices which write no preservative added, including those, anything which is packed, cut it down. All kind of biscuits, the commonest thing which people have with tea in the noon. If you just cut down sugar from your tea, you cut down at least 50 to 60 spoons of sugar per month. If you're having 2 cups tea every day, you're adding 2 spoons sugar. Just cut that down. I know it's difficult because many people are habituated, but that will give you huge benefit. Okay, in long run, nothing will happen in short run, but in long run, it will heal your body in a tremendous way. Cutting down on bread and all such things. Balance it. I'm not telling don't eat these things. Even I eat pizza, I eat burger. But if I eat it, next day I balance it. Okay, I balance with high fiber diets. Morning, evening, I'm going to have pizza. Morning, I'll have something very healthy, rich fiber. Yeah. It's not that every time you're eating that. And I will not have it more than once in 15 days. If I'm having bread, it won't come more than, once in 10 days in my home. If I'm getting biscuits, I'll get the smallest possible biscuit packet and not avoid cream biscuit as much as possible, because that is even more high fructose syrup added into that. So don't give, and keep all healthy options in your home, because when you're hungry in the evening, in the night, the easiest thing to reach is all these things, your Maggi noodles or your biscuits or your namkeens or your bhujiyas and all these things. You keep healthy options. You can have dates. You can have nuts. You can have dry fruits. You can have homemade laddus with resins sweetener. Yeah, resins and dates as sweetener, not sugar, not jaggery, not too much of jaggery, very little jaggery you can have. You can have sesame laddus, tilke laddu. So many things are there. In Indian thing, we have too many varieties. If you explore, there are so many options. You keep them ready. Because if you don't have substitute, then you will go to biscuit. And that's easiest thing. And nowadays, anyway, Swiggy and Zomato is already there in your phone and will give you a pop-up in 50% discount and you'll feel like eating, even if you're not hungry. And if you want to order for 100 rupees, it will tell you to order 200 rupees so that you can get 30% discount. Yeah. This is how it happens. And this is what America is suffering today. If you are smart, we should take care of these things. Yeah. As far as possible, eat home food. Because no matter where do you go, unless you are going to 5-star hotel, which most people won't go on daily basis, you are not going to get healthy food. These most hotels, they do not follow basic norms. Inspections in India are for namesake. I know this practically. Okay. So they use the cheapest quality of oil, burnt oil. I mean, you cannot imagine the kind of things which are used in food products. So you cannot avoid, no matter which kind of restaurant you are going, you cannot avoid that. Unless you are going to 5-star hotels, because 5-star hotels are very strict regulations and they do manage these things. Otherwise, you won't be able to manage. So these are the few things I can say in given time. Thank you so much. If you have any question, I can take a few questions for another 10 minutes and then we'll stop. Thank you. Good book for suggestion for health. You can, I heard this lady, Rujuta Divekar, and I quite resonate with her ideas, holistic ideas, and medically also they are very sound. Of course, there are many other people who may be having contrary. See, in food industry, there is a huge industry, and there are many people who have contrary opinions. Don't get confused. Use your mind in a simple way, and it's not that complicated. If anybody is telling you to do something which you cannot follow for life, I won't recommend you. It could be any special kind of diet or anything. Yes. Who was this? Somebody was asking. Dealing with elders, take the package. Take the package, I told you. There are good things with elders. There are not so good things with elders. And similarly, they are also having stress with you. Please understand. Yeah. So for a tree which is big, grown up, it's difficult to mold that tree. So you have to learn to take things into stride. Things will never be ideal. Yeah. Same things come in again and again. You slow down your breathing, that will help you. When you slow down your breathing, your train of thoughts slows down. Okay, gap between two thoughts will increase while slowing down your breathing. Anytime you are feeling that there are too many thoughts coming, slow down your breathing. You can do humming pranayam, simple Brahmari pranayam. Take deep breath with your tummy out, with your shoulders broad in a positive frame of mind, with your hands upside, sit like this and take a deep breath and then do this at least for 30 to 40 seconds and do this few times. You will feel instant relief. Okay, this is one thing I can recommend in short time. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much for all your generous comments. Any questions, please ask quickly. I have only 7 minutes time. Everybody who is asking about anxiety, repeated thoughts, I have given you some packages. Understand what is the package you are not accepting, which is unchangeable, you are not accepting. Understand if your anxiety is coming because of lack of validation from the world. Yeah, you want somebody to acknowledge you and he or she is not acknowledging you. Let it go. What you think of yourself is very important. And slowing down your breathing is the key. Please don't miss it. Slowing down your breathing is the key. Do that. Yeah. Neck pain also will be, you will actually get relief with continuous doing this practice of slowing down breathing. Because if your neck pain is coming because of inflammation in those muscle fibers which hold your backbone, then that inflammation will reduce with these breathing exercises. But it is a process which has to happen regularly. Also check your aesthetics. How do you sit? Your ergonomics, your chair you sit, your posture, if there is something wrong, your shoe sole, there are so many things. So also check them. If you are sitting in wrong posture, then you will not be able to do it. Usually holding phone for a long time and sitting like this causes this problem. Having your laptop below your eye level will cause a problem. So I lift my laptop, buy some stand, or put something below your laptop. So if you're working on that, so that you can see straight. And do not sit on the chair more than 40 minutes at a time. So after every 40 minutes, have an alarm or something, stretch yourself for 5 minutes and again sit. Do some deep breathing and sit. Yes, somebody was asking. Quickly, please shoot.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Chari.
Sir, myself Chari. Sir, I love the concept accepting the package, but if we got the package having more difficulties than comforts, so how to accept that package, sir?
See, if something is unchangeable, you have no option. Otherwise, change the package. I'll tell you, there are so many people who tell me when I gave up my job, there are many people who told me, my job is not good, your job is good, this type. My boss is like this. I tell them, why don't you change it? They tell, how can I change it? I have responsibilities. Then accept it. See, if you are having a problem for 3 months, 6 months because of an external factor, we can accept it. But if you are having the same problem for 2-3 years, then it's not their problem. Then it's your problem. So I tell them, see, if you are choosing to stay here, things will not be ideal. You have to learn how to deal with it. Things will never be ideal. Take it. You can go to best company, you can go to work in Amazon, in Google. I have been with all these people, somewhere in the training, somewhere they've been my students, and I know there are issues even there. There are politics even there. There is favoritism even there. There is micromanagement even there. Wherever there are people, there will be politics, including families. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, any book on this breathing techniques you can suggest?
Breathing techniques. See, I am telling you from a book called Coherence, but that's technical in nature, so I won't recommend for you. Okay. It is a book on how to be good on every day, but that's really technical in nature, so not for everyone.
As far as this humming breathing is concerned, so do you have any such?
Any book on Ashtanga Yoga, on pranayama, they have all these concepts. I am not right now getting any particular author, but even if you go to which city are you? If you have Hyderabad, then go to Mutt. There are so many books, especially on yoga. Yeah, and just get that. Go to Ramakrishna Mutt, Domalpura.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll stop here. Sudhakar ji, are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. कुछ announcement करना है तो कीजिए, नहीं तो close करेंगे.
नहीं sir, वो concluding prayer करनी है.
Okay. So all of you can close your eyes.
Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Vunattu Sahaviryam Karavahai Tejasvi Navaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Ram Krishna.
Namaskar. Jai Ram Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Best
much.
wishes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.